Hello class, this is chapter 7 of Roberta Lenkeit's text. This is going to be marriage, family, and residence. What are the possibilities? If you see at the bottom I have the barrel model, infrastructure, social structure, and superstructure. An economy of a group of people influence the way they organize socially. We organize the way we make a living, which makes sense. Socially, it can determine relationships between people. If it's a hierarchical culture, then people have their rank in that society or their position in that society. If it's more egalitarian, then of course everybody has more equal access, more equal say. Those things are dependent on the economy because the economy depends on technology. The technology that provides economic support, greater technology, greater resources, larger population. So it changes how people organize. When people organize differently, they change their superstructure. They change their beliefs, the means in which we organize around. Let's get started. We're going to look at diagramming kinship, marriage rules, marriage forms and functions, mate choice and marriage finance, family, and resident patterns. Two things to think about that take relativism and can make human culture clearer. What is culture and what has been the purpose of culture? And what is marriage and what forms does it take? So what is culture and what has been the purpose of culture? Culture is an extrasomatic adaptation that is necessary for human survival. Extrasomatic, meaning outside the body. It is a thought process, a set of traditions that we connect with, a set of laws, a set of values, a set of meaning that culture has. We use that connection to cooperate, to form an economy, to extract, produce, distribute, and dispose. The type of economy will determine what the social relationships are, especially for members of that cultural group, but not exclusively. It is a cooperative human effort, certainly not without conflict or challenges. Bonding through language, religion, family, including affinal and conjugal relationships. What is marriage and what forms does it take? Marriage creates alliances within and between family lineages to create perceived related bonds. And now we're going to go into the types of marriage. But first, diagramming kinship. Next week we'll do kinship. This week we're going to look at the symbols and what they mean. Kinship diagrams are a shorthand method of representing and giving a clear visual picture of kin relationships. Kinship terminology constructs relationships of connection, responsibility, and cooperation. Your mother has a different responsibility towards you and your relationship towards her than your father has a relationship towards you and yours towards him. Your uncle, your aunt, your grandmother, all these terms are categories of relationship and types of responsibility towards each other, often labeled with a family, lineage, clan, or state totem symbol. Symbols are used in diagrams to limit linguistic confusion. You can look at it at a glance, find out who is the center of this kinship, who it's stemming from, and the relationship of all those people in the family, extended family as well. It is easier to trace and understand complex relationships with these visual images. And here they are. The circle is a symbol of female. The triangle, a symbol of male. Symbol for individual, regardless of sex, is a square. That is usually the person that the kinship stems from. Parallel lines indicate marriage. These straight lines indicate blood relationships. A circle with a line through it, symbol of deceased female. A triangle with a line through it, a symbol of deceased male. Parallel lines with a line through it indicates a divorce. Parallel lines that are like that there at the bottom, broken. This is used to indicate individuals living as if married, but where the relationship is not legally recognized. People living together without getting married, without a cultural sanctification. We'll continue with kinship next week. Today, marriage rules. Exogamy and endogamy. Exogamy specifies that you must marry somebody outside your group. Endogamy specifies you must marry somebody inside your group. So exogamy specifies that a person must marry outside of a designated group of people, including the designated lineage, clan, ethnic, racial, family, etc. Endogamy, the rules that specify the group within which a person should or must marry, including lineage, clan, ethnic, racial, and family. Endogamy, marrying someone in your same class, same race. And that can be a preference of that group, or it can be a preference of the larger group. Exogamy, marrying outside of your clan, your lineage. A clan is a good way to look at this. Clans are lineages that have joined together. There is certainly blood relation in the lineages, but not in the clan overall. But many clans have an exogamy rule in which you cannot marry anybody in that clan, no matter how close that relationship, that blood relationship is. Banning interracial marriage. In 1967, the United States Supreme Court struck down laws in 16 states prohibiting interracial marriage. 15 years earlier, 14 other states had also banned interracial marriage, but repealed their laws before 1967. Now think of this. There is no such thing as different human races. Yet, we organized the nation on its inception on the idea of different races for economic reasons. And then banned the marriage between races because the Western European patriarchy was frightened it would dilute the white line. Same-sex marriages. Now in the United States, all 50 states allow same-sex marriage. Same-sex marriage has been normalized in many cultures. The Greek culture, the Roman culture, the Americas before European contact, areas of Africa, and the Asian Pacific. The Nandi. Same-sex female marriage raises the status of both females. Sometimes a female does not get married. If she's not married in that culture, she is looked at as lower. And maybe a female will have a child out of marriage. She's also looked at as lower. If they both get married, it raises both their status. Marriage brings sexual activity under cultural control. And you know how that can cause trouble between people. So marriage controls that. Who you have sex with and who you don't have sex with. It also assigns responsibility for children. The parental responsibilities as well as the step-parents or the grandparents. Creates alliances between families, lineages, and clans, but not cultures. Marriage has been for a very long time to create alliances between groups. The romantic marriage really is kind of recent in its evolution. It also determines inheritance. And marriage can determine your status, like with the Nandi. The Ner and the Nu. Here are two groups that have very different types of marriage. The Nair, men go off to war young. They're boys, and they remain away the entire war and may never come back. At puberty, a marriage is arranged between families. After a few days, they may never meet again, the husband and wife. But now the girl is considered a woman and can take up to 12 lovers, approved by her family. The man is required to give gifts, and if the woman becomes pregnant, one claims the paternity, but has no financial responsibility. This is the woman's family's responsibility. This is a matriarchal culture, and it looks like they're at war quite often. And so the boys that go to war may never return. So two things are going on there. One, the marriage is going to be a shy one person, and many people in the culture die. The way they've dealt with it is through matriarchy. The girl takes a husband, and then he goes off to war. Now she can have up to 12 lovers. They don't have financial responsibility. The mother's family will. The children will live with her family. And this is, in our culture, seen as rather strange. But think about it. In our culture, we have 40 to 50% divorce rate. That means children are constantly being broken out of their family. In a matriarchal situation like this, the children have a stable family throughout their life. Now the father, you may be wondering, what about the father? The father does come in. He has no financial responsibility, but he can come in and act as a stepfather. In a matriarchal culture like this, the woman's uncle or a brother or closest male relative will take on the father parental role. The new, they don't even have a word for marriage. When the girl is old enough, she brings lovers into her bed. They leave before dawn, and children are taken care of by the mother's group. Again, the father can be involved with that child, but has no financial responsibility, and the child's family has context through its entire life. Mate choice. Free choice of spouse, free choice with parental approval, and arranged marriage.